The fluorescent lights in the ER are the kind of bright that makes you feel exposed and vulnerable, like there's just nowhere left to hide. I was lying on a gurney with an IV in each arm, watching the saline and electrolytes drip into my dehydrated body, and all I could think was, how did I get here? Not from a car accident, not from a crisis you tell your grandkids about, but from work, from 7-day weeks and from 12-hour days, from saying yes to every opportunity because what if this was the one that proved I belonged? What if I missed out if I didn't say yes? From performing gratitude for seats at tables where they didn't even bother cleaning the crumbs off before I sat down. The doctor looked at my chart and said, "When is the last time you had a full night's sleep?" I wanted to tell her that, sleep was for people who had already made it, that I was first generation, first in my family to graduate high school, the first to go to college. I was the first to work at major companies like LinkedIn and Google and Uber and Tesla where nobody looked like me, right? That I was a gay Puerto Rican kid from the South Bronx who had somehow hacked his way into boardrooms. And every single day, I had to prove that I deserved to be there. And instead, I just said, I don't remember." She nodded. "Well, okay. Well, your body remembers, and it's telling you to stop." That moment cracked me open. And everything I've built since then, everything that I teach clients today came from what I learned lying on that hospital bed. Hustle will break you, systems will save you. Today, I want you to think of this as a private advisory session, just one on one, you and me in the room. I'm going to share with you the complete philosophy, the formula, and the full picture of what it means to build an expert business that runs without you being online 24/7. Let's get to work. I'm Luis Baez. I've spent over 15 years in sales leadership and revenue enablement. I was recruited to work at major tech companies like LinkedIn, Google, Uber, and Tesla, where I contributed over 600 million in revenue impact. And now I work with management consultants, fractional executives, and boutique agency founders. And I help them replace the exhaustion of hustle with systems that buy them oxygen so they can finally scale. Everything I'm about to share is the foundational philosophy behind the booked, busy, paid accelerator. Here's what I believed for most of my career: work hard, be the first one in, the last one out, say yes to everything, outperform everyone, and never ever slow down. I grew up in poverty in the Bronx during the 80s and the 90s. And in that world, you had to learn early that a closed mouth doesn't get fed. No one is coming to save you. And you work as soon as you're old enough to clock in. And you don't stop until you've made it. So I didn't stop. I overperformed my way into rooms that I was never supposed to be in. I contributed over $600 million in revenue impact. I built enablement systems for billion-dollar companies. And every time I achieved something, I set a new bar and started running again. Because for people like me, rest wasn't an option. It was a reward that you hadn't earned yet. And then my body decided it was done waiting for me to figure that out. 3 days after the ER, I was sitting in my apartment staring at 240 something unread emails, 12 missed calls, and a Slack full of people wondering where I'd been. And for the first time in my career, I thought, what am I, what am I doing this for? Not in a defeated way, but just in a clarity kind of way. I'd been playing a rigged game. The goalposts kept moving every time I got there, and the standard just kept rising. The just a little more never ended. And I could keep hustling for the next 20 years and end up in another ER, or I could do something radically different. I could build something that didn't require me to burn myself out to be successful. Here's what I discovered and what I've spent the last several years refining into a formula that works. The equation for sustainable wealth in an expert business is simple: value times systems times leverage equals sustainable wealth. Value is the transformation you deliver, your expertise, your method, your unique way of seeing and solving things. This is what most founders focus on exclusively. They get better at their craft, they invest in their skills, they become more knowledgeable. But value alone is a trap because without systems and leverage, more value just means more hours. You become an expensive freelancer. Systems are the repeatable processes that deliver value consistently. Your templates, your frameworks, right? Your automated onboarding flow, your entire delivery architecture. Systems means that you're not reinventing the wheel every single time for every single client. You're not custom building every engagement from scratch. You have an infrastructure that holds no matter what your capacity is. Leverage is the multiplication factor. Your team, your technology, your productized offers, right? Leverage means that your business can grow without requiring more of you. It means that you can serve 10 clients with the same energy that it used to take you to serve three because the systems are doing the heavy lifting and the team executes delivery. Most expert businesses are stuck at level one or level two of leverage. Level one is manual, you're doing everything yourself. Level two is templated. You've created some reusable assets, but you're still doing most of the work. Unhustling is about climbing to level three, automation, where the repetitive work runs without you. Level four, delegated, is where a team handles delivery while you focus on strategy. And eventually, level five, productized, is where your expertise generates revenue through programs and courses or licensing without your direct involvement. You don't jump to level five overnight, my friend. We crawl, then walk, then run. But you have to start climbing intentionally instead of forever spinning at level one. Freedom doesn't come from automation, it comes from systems that make your genius reusable. Unhustling isn't the absence of work, it's the presence of strategy. It's choosing precision over performance and systems over stress. It's about choosing wealth over worthiness, right? It means building infrastructure that multiplies your impact without requiring you to multiply your hours. Setting boundaries that feel like leadership and not like limitation. It feels like architecting revenue that flows predictably instead of chaotically all the time. You never know when it's coming. You never know when someone's falling in or falling out, right? It's about creating leverage so your business scales without requiring more of you. It means designing a company that works for you, not the other way around. There's a concept that I come back to constantly in my business. I call it the Sade effect. Sade, the artist, doesn't drop an album every year. She doesn't tour nonstop. She doesn't flood your feed with content. She disappears for about a decade, comes back, sells out stadiums worldwide, and then goes back to doing her thing every single time. Why? Because the work is so good that it doesn't need constant promotion. It lives in people's hearts. It compounds over time. It works while she rests. That's the standard that I build to. And that's the standard that I want you to build to. What if you created something so valuable and so well architected that it worked for you, whether you showed up today or not? Not because you're lazy, but because the system is so good. That's the power of a productized asset. You extract your method one time, you package your offers one time, you design your entire delivery engine just once. And those systems live in your business working for you over and over for years. They qualify prospects while you're at dinner. They onboard clients while you're on vacation. They allow you to do deep human work that actually requires your presence. I'm not on a content hamster wheel. I'm not posting 7 times a week, hoping the algorithm will notice me. I build my assets once with intention. and I let them breathe. That's the Sade effect. Build it once, build it right, and let it work. Your business can run the same way, not through more effort, but through better architecture and intention. I didn't build this philosophy from some mountaintop. I built it from a hospital bed, from the wreckage of a career that almost killed me, and from the realization that the most successful people I know aren't the busiest or the laziest. They're the most systematic. And I build for people like you, the brilliant expert who's tired of trading hours for dollars, the consultant who knows they're undercharging but doesn't know how to fix it, the fractional executive who is maxed out on clients and can't see a path to growth, the agency owner who's drowning in delivery and their pipeline is sitting on empty, the coach who built a business that was supposed to set them free but just became another cage. If any of that sounds familiar, then I need you to hear something, my friend. You're not broken. Your business model is. And business models can absolutely be rebuilt. I'm not going to promise you that it's easy. It's not. Extracting your method takes honest reflection. Raising your prices takes courage. Setting boundaries takes practice. And building systems definitely takes patience. And letting go of the hustle identity that's been driving you for decades, that takes everything. But on the other side of that work is a business that generates predictable premium revenue without requiring you to be in every room or on every call and in every inbox every day of the week. On the other side is a bit of freedom, a bit of relief, a deep breath, a little bit of elbow room, right? Not the kind that you're promised by some sort of productivity guru who wants you to optimize your morning routine, right? Nah, that's not what I'm talking about. The kind where you take a 2-week vacation and nothing breaks, or where you check your dashboard on a Monday morning and the numbers are exactly where you expected them to be, or where your clients love working with you because you show up refreshed and clear and present, not burnt out and resentful. That's unhustling, and that's available to you right now. Now you understand the philosophy, you understand the difference between scaling chaos and building architecture more intentionally. If something stirred in you today when you were listening to this, if you recognize yourself in this story in any way, and if you're ready to stop building a business that runs on your burnout and start building one that runs on systems, I'd love to talk to you. An alignment call with me would be the first step, not a sales pitch, but just a real conversation about where you are, where you want to be, and whether I'm the right person to help you get there. I take these calls seriously. I don't work with just everyone, and I won't pretend to have the answers before I understand your situation. But if we're aligned, I'll tell you exactly what I would build if I were in your shoes. And if we're not aligned, I'll tell you that too, my friend. Go to bookedbusypaid.com and book a time directly on my calendar. This is Unhustling, where we build slower, breathe deeper, and still get it all done on our own terms. I'm Luis Baez, and I'm in your corner.